Hey guys, this is Non-Lammers Invoked 101. Welcome back, and today we are taking a look at my updated Tenyi deck profile. I've been in a weird spot with my Tenyi deck, I'm not gonna lie. It's one of those decks that I've really liked and really enjoyed when I played it, but I haven't been able to play it a lot because every time I go to locals, it's the more competitive locals. My casual locals has sadly closed its doors for the time of COVID. They still sell product and they're still open, but definitely we're not currently allowed to play our cards there. But I also want to make a quick little announcement before getting into the deck profile. We have the first ever Mio Invoked 101 Field Center, and I'm super happy with this. I'm super proud of it, and it's really nice, and I'm happy to add this to my set of custom field centers that I have. But with that said, down in the description, if you like supporting the channel, you can check that, and it will have a few different links where you can directly support the channel, including joining our Discord where we have tournaments every Friday. So if you feel like checking that out and joining the Invoked 101 Discord and the discussion, feel free to check that out, and while you're down there, drop the video a like and a subscribe. Moving the extra deck and the spells and traps off to the side, we're going to dive right into the main deck monsters. Zooming in, we, of course, are starting off with 3 Tenyi Spirit Ashuna. This is the Tenyi Spirit who can banish himself from hand or grave to special summon another Tenyi from the deck. Very useful, very versatile, and arguably the best one. And I can't say enough about this thing. Like, I like Tenyis a lot, and this was a major buff to this deck. Just overall. Next up, we have 3 Tenyi Spirit Vishuddha, which I think I finally have 3 holos of. I don't know if I had 3 holos of this the last time I showed this deck off. Vishuddha is easily the next best one, also being a level 7, which is very important for Tenyis because they make level 8 synchros like it's their job. So Vishuddha is also able to banish himself from hand or grave to special summon, not to special summon, to return a face-up card, I believe? Target one card, no, any card, and it bounces it back to the hand. So Vishuddha is really cool in that aspect, and definitely a good addition to the deck, and was one of the easily the best cards in Seas plays and tons of things. Moving into Tenyi Spirit Ahara. Ahara is another really important Tenyi because if you can banish him from hand or graveyard to add back a banished Tenyi that is not Ahara, I believe. Target one of your banished word. Oh no, just accept this card. So you can add back other copies of Adhara. He kind of works like ABC, or not ABC, A in that aspect. But yeah, Adhara, also 3 super rares, but I think I've had the Adharas for a little bit longer. That's it for the weird level Tenyis. Moving into the level 4 Tenyis. 3 Shathana. Shathana is really good in the fact that it lets you protect a Tenyi, where if it gets destroyed, you get to revive it and then pop a card. So Shathana is really good in that aspect and definitely worth playing 3. And then we have the 2 ofs. This one's kind of like an honest. It says when an opponent's face-up monster declares an attack on your non-effect monster, or when an attack is declared, you can banish this card from hand or grave, and then that monster's attack, that monster loses. I'm sorry, I'm reading. I started reading and I started tripping over my words because of course. But it says it loses 15. The opponent's monster loses 1500 attack until the end of the turn, which is really cool. Next up, we have Mpura, which if your face-up non-effect monster is targeted for an effect, you get to banish this card and then negate and destroy that card. So Mpura is one of the better ones, but there's not a lot of targeting stuff out there right now. As far as like Tenyi goes, especially like when it comes to non-effect monsters, you know, like what non-effect monster thing is going to get targeted. Next up, we actually do have some of the effect monsters for the deck, which includes 2 Mare. I think 2 is perfect, especially with the new ratios of the cards that we're playing. I'm still playing Mystery Shell Dragon, but this time I'm only playing 2. I believe I've played 3 in the past. 2 is just fine with me. Mostly just to have a body that we can keep using our Tenyi stuff with. Also, it's a Wyrm, it's a normal, and it lets us do things. And it's also part of the new wave of stuff where it says normal monster at the bottom, so very neat there. And we actually do play hand traps, 3 Ghost Ogre and 3 Effect Veiler. This deck is I actually treat this deck kind of nice. I do enjoy me some Tenyis. I do need to upgrade their sleeves from these Ultra Pros though into the Dragon Shields that I use for a lot of other decks. Moving into the spell cards, we have the brand new support card from Rise of the Duelist, which is the whole reason that I wanted to make this video and change up this deck, aside from the fact I haven't actually shown off my Tenyi deck in a while. Heavenly Dragon Circle, which I believe was called like Cycle, was like Vessel for the Dragon Cycle, or not Vessel for the Dragon Cycle, but Heavenly Dragon Cycle or something like that beforehand. Either way, this is the brand new quick play spell for Tenyi, and it says, tribute a Wyrm, add 1 Wyrm from your deck to your hand, and if you tributed a non-effect monster to activate this card, you can special summon it instead, but negate its effects. During your main phase, if you control a face-up non-effect monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 Tenyi card from your deck to your hand. You can only use 1 effect of Dragon Cycle per turn, and only once that turn, which kind of sucks. But finally, we have the Rota for Tenyis. It's awesome, and the fact that you can just tribute a thing to get a Tenyi effect engrave, or even like summon a Mare, like tribute a Mare token, and then special summon a Tenyi from the deck using this, is pretty amazing. Like this card has a lot of utility within Tenyi, and I think that we've yet to truly see the power. I do think this card has come out just a little bit too late. I feel like if this was in, not Eternity Code, they're from Rising Rampage, aren't they? Isn't that where the Tenyis are from? They're from Rising Rampage. So maybe if these were in Ignition Assault, we could have seen, because isn't that where? No, he's from Chaos Impact. So yeah, if these were in like Ignition Assault, we probably could have seen Tenyi do some damage, I feel personally. But whatever. Then we have 3 Vessel, which is the other pseudo search card for Tenyis, I believe. Send a Wyrm and then add a Wyrm. So very cool. But this lets you add Tenyi cards, right? Yeah, so searches anything with the word Tenyi in it. Makes it just a little bit better. But yeah, this searches Wyrms, which is really nice. Specifically searches Tenyis, but Foolish is any Wyrm. Then we have 2 of the Tenyi field spell. I think 2 is just fine. I've been playing 2 this long, and honestly, I haven't hated playing 2. I've never not played 2. I think even in the regional version of this deck that I played at a regional, I only played 2. So I've not had a problem with 2. Next up, we have another nice addition to the deck, and the last spell card in the deck, 3 Dark Ruler No More. I'm finding more and more that this deck does want to go second, especially with that new card Successor Soul coming out. That buffs this deck to work with Phantasm Spiral, which you'll see my Phantasm Spiral Tenyi deck profile when that card comes out. This card is amazing. I love this card in this deck specifically because Tenyis now get to rip apart the board and turn it into Caveman Yu-Gi-Oh! With this. You can also play Droplets if you really want to. I only have 1 copy of Droplets, and that's currently in another deck that you'll see later this week, hopefully. So, moving right along. We have 3 Fists of the Unrivaled Tenyi. This is the Tenyi counter trap. It's a really important card for Tenyi. And also it's a Waking of the Dragon for Tenyi, so if it gets popped by your opponent's card effects, you get to special summon a non-effect monster from your extra deck, which is very nice. Then for the last trap, we have 2 Storm Dragon's Return. This allows us to special summon back banish things to either link them away or steal them from our opponent, which is very nice. So if they banish Alistair and they go to get Alistair back, we can use Storm Dragon's Return. Granted, it does put it back in their hands, so that might not be the most optimal thing, but it does do certain things. Like my friend, he was playing this. He used this to steal my Cyber Dragon Infinity, which was really interesting to see him do that. But yeah, so there is all that. That's it for the main deck. Sorry. Moving into the extra, we of course have. I'm gonna go backwards with the links. We have 1 Tenyi Spirit Sahasra, and Sahasra needs 2+ Wyrm monsters. It is a Wyrm Link 4, and it says while you control a face-up non-effect monster, monsters your opponent controls cannot target effect monsters for attacks. Also, they can't target effect monsters on the field with card effects. And then it has a quick effect to target an effect monster on the field that your opponent controls. Special summon 1 Tenyi Spirit token, a Wyrm Light, level 4, attack, defense 0. This token's attack becomes the targeted monster's original attack. You can only use this effect of Tenyi Spirit Sahasra once per turn. Very cool, 3000 Link 4, and this is kind of what allows us to play Majesty's Fiend. Not Majesty, is it Majesty's Fiend? Or is it Majesty's Emperor? Vanity's Emperor? Vanity's Ruler? Whatever that 2 tribute monster that's like a better version of Vanity's Fiend is. Then we play one Berserker only because it's a normal monster, and if we're gonna make a Link 3, realistically, we're gonna use the materials that we would have used for Berserker for Sahazara, or Sriracha Sauce as I like to call them. Then we have 2 Draco Masters of Tenyi. This is one of the best Link 3s. This is the other Link 3 that you're gonna go into instead of Berserker, because this thing is much better. And I believe it has the same materials, which is 2+ monsters, including a Link. But this allows you to pop potentially an indefinite amount of cards, because it pops cards equal to the number of non-effect monsters in your graveyard and on the field, with the only caveat being you cannot control a effect monster aside from him. So while he is really cool in that aspect, there's also the really cool thing where it's 26, and that's the combined attack of Shaman and Monk and Shaman are in the artwork, which I always thought was really cool. Learned that from the Yu-Gi-Oh! R structure manga, where the main character actually plays Tenyis. But anyways, it says it cannot be destroyed by battle with an effect monster. If you control no other effect monsters, blah 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 blah. It gets to do the effect that I already laid out for you guys. But yeah, really cool card, really nice card out of Chaos Impact. Then we also have 3 Shaman. Shaman is easily the best Link monster for this strategy. Being able to go into it, revive a Wyrm for the cost of a discard, which just means you get to set up your Tenyis in the graveyard. It's incredible. Like, this card, it does so much. And along with the fact that you get to pop a card whenever a monster declares an attack. Specifically, I like declaring attacks with Scrap Archfiend, and then you get to pop a card with this. Scrap Archfiend gets to swing over something else that this couldn't swing over, and then this could swing over either something little or just attack directly, which is really nice. But yeah, so I like Shaman. And then for the last Link monster, 3 Monk. I feel like you have to play 3 Monk. There's no way around it. I've actually thought about playing Pot of Avarice in this deck just to recycle Monks and other extra deck things, because you burn through your Monks pretty quickly. So it is one of those things that has crossed my mind. But the graveyard for this deck is very necessary, so I would only recommend Pot of Avarice at potentially 1 to 2. So, but that's it for the Links. And we will then move into the other extra deck things, such as Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I feel like you need to play this in Tenyis because it is the biggest non-effect monster in the extra deck. 4,500, and it has no protection, but it's a decent beater. It's a great beater, actually. 45 gets over a lot of things. So if they pop your thing, you can just special summon this, and it's free game. Tornado Dragon, A, he's a Wyrm, and 2, he's a level 4 Xyz, so you can just do other things with him. Wow. I can't even talk about Tornado Dragon. He's an MST. Like, that's it. That's all he needs to be. That's all you needed to say, Nod. Come on. Next up, we have 1 Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. This is your level 8 Synchro, again from Chaos Impact. Chaos Impact was really the set of extra deck monsters for Tenyi. Really cool card. It's a BLS Synchro, essentially, where it gets to attack multiple times and also can banish a card. So it's very similar to Blackluster Soldier, Envoy at the end, or Envoy at the beginning, whatever the heck his name is. And it just needs a tuner, a non-tuner monster. But yeah, really, really cool Synchro. I definitely don't recommend going into this super early, as he is better going second, which is another reason that I've built this deck more to go second. Same reason that we play Baxia, which is another level 8, which because the 2 level 7 Tenyis are different attributes from Adhara, you always get a spin 2. Like, you're always going to get a spin 2, potentially 3, because you can Synchro Adhara with a level 4 Tenyi, and then that with a token or 2 tokens, because that would be 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So you would be able to spin 3 cards that way. But yeah, 1 Baxia. I like Baxia. And of course, our level 7 Synchro, Scrap Archfiend. This is the thing that we can make off of Mermare. We can make this off of Mermare, because Mermare, I believe, is a level 7. Let me double check. Mermare is level 7, so if you just need to summon a Synchro, you don't want to invest into one of these 2 or go into Links, you can just summon Scrap Archfiend. And the next 3 cards I have are Karibo tokens for my Mermare. But yeah, I like Scrap Archfiend a lot. I think he was one of the cool. I think he's a really cool option for the deck because he's 2,700, which is pretty beefy, and he's a normal monster, and this is kind of a Synchro deck. So, but yeah, there we go. That is it for my updated Tenyi deck profile. I hope you guys actually enjoyed this because I love Tenyis a lot. I think this deck is super cool. I think it's super fun and it's pretty affordable. Me and my friend actually laid this deck out with even with the Dark Ruler No More in the main and whatnot, and the deck only came out to about $100. Like it is fairly cheap, and that was with like Hollow Adharas and whatnot. So if you're feeling like picking up a deck and you have the money to spend on a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, like you're like this is my budget for the year, this is not a bad deck to invest in, especially since it is so much fun and so versatile in the fact that it can work with normal monsters. Like there's always going to be new normal monsters, there's always going to be new things coming out for that. So if you feel like picking up a really cool deck that's fairly unique in its strategy, definitely look into Tenyi. And with that said, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video.